Okay, it's Graham Healy again. Healy's instantaneous counter-attack. And what we're going to do now, we're moving on to the elbows. So I don't use a lot of elbows, but you can use them. Usually I'm a long-range, mid-range, long-range attack and defence. And again, the caveat always is with Healy's instantaneous counter-attack is always proportionate response. So someone may grab you in close, they may throw a hook. There's all sorts of different ways to utilise the elbow. But I'll just show you. Let's put these glasses up. So with the elbow, depends. You can drive it straight in, or you can sort of hook it a little bit. I have a tendency to more or less drive it, pretty much so. But when you're here, you could boxing, and then suddenly they throw a hook around. You grab the back of the neck, and bang. Using that part, see, that's the ulnar. Right up here is where the blade of the ulnar is, and you really don't have to train that. You don't have to do the Makarama board thing. The key is that you leave the hand loose. You don't tighten the fist. Hands loose. So when you do it, like that. So notice when the trajectory there, and you just see a set of eyes over the top of the elbow. So this other hand I may be pulling in. So it may be, or they could throw a hook around here. So imagine the hook coming around here. I'll jam it, wrap it, and elbow it, or palm it. So we're sort of going into the Healy's Commando Krav Maga training now, but of course there's 3 levels to what I do. It's the standard boxing techniques adapted to open hand techniques with Taekwondo / Yunjando, or I was a founding instructor for Yunjando, even though I've had a bit of a falling out with them. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's all about the techniques. I'm not worried about politics, right? So what I'm doing these days, I'm basically teaching people technique. I'm not training for anyone for the next World Championship. I'm not into sport. I was, but this side of the game, I'm more into the instantaneous counter-attack, a bit like the Krav Maga side of things, although I have a different way of doing Krav Maga. So it's not just Krav Maga. With Krav Maga, it depends who's teaching you as to what flavour they use. With boxing, depends what the coach has learned as to what style you learned. With Taekwondo, it depends what master teaches you as to what sort of technique he teaches you and his background, right? So all coaches aren't the same, vast difference. And it depends on their personal experience as to what they're projecting to you. So just doing these pad courses and all this aerobic stuff doesn't teach you to be a boxing coach, a martial arts coach, or whatever. And it depends on what real world self-defense experience you've had. And I've had a fair bit of that, and it hasn't been competition. It's been against armed shotguns, all these sort of things. And some of my associates, of course, have been in similar situations. So we're not mucking around when it comes to self-defense. However, we understand the law, and the law says you will not be disproportionate. So if someone just throws a punch at you, you counter that, you stop it, you neutralise, I call it the stinger, which usually takes a little ego away. Oh, I'm going to knock you out. And I'll see how good that goes, son. Bang, down they go, or they get stung with the slap or whatever. And then if they want to continue on, then that's their choice, and you can counter them again. So legally, they'll look at a court of law and they'll go, okay, you did this for that, you tried to attack him, he could have had a knife, blah, 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 blah. They go through the legal arguments. But if you carry on, like I see in some of the videos, where you think you're in a Bruce Lee movie, except they don't cop 3, 4, half a dozen strikes. It's usually 1 or 2, and there's serious injury. And then you've got to look at someone falling on the concrete, all this sort of stuff. So you've got to assess the situation rather rapidly. And as I say to my students, you've always got to use your conscience. Your conscience is a big governor for me. In all the things that I've been through over the years, and there's been plenty of them, I tell you, not just in the boxing ring, I've always used my conscience, and I've either got out of there real quick or I perceive it before it happens. And a lot of the times I see it before it happens. That's a Miyamoto Musashi thing. If you've got the book on 5 rings, read the last chapter on the void, you'll understand it. You'll understand it as a young person, then as you get to an older person, you'll understand a different dimension. Graham Healy. Okay, here's the elbow, right? Elbow both sides. So do 3. Keep the hand open. All right, here we go. And stick it, so just push it in. 2. That's it. Use your body weight. Keep the other hand up. Other hand's up, you know. That's it. Hand open. That's it. Push it through. So on the bag, I'd push it more. In the man-to-man situation, I'd wrap that a little bit in a more of a circle. But it's either pushed or wrapped, depending on what target you're hitting at. Okay. All right. Remember, Healys instantaneous counterattack, and remember, it's got to be proportionate self-defense. Why I keep saying that is, unlike others, I've been through a fair few court cases, right? And every single time when I've used proportionate response, nothing happens. On the other hand, if say, for instance, someone attacks me, I neutralise them. I give them the stinger, boom, down they go. Then I usually give them the warning. You want to continue? Yeah? Well, you're going to get it next time, right? So usually they don't want to continue. After they get embarrassed in front of their mates or whatever, and you put the stinger on them, neutralise them, they've learned a lesson, hopefully. But if they come back at you, well, you know, proportionate response. So just keep remembering that in all this stuff that you learn, it all boils down to just 1 or 2 techniques to neutralise the attacker. Okay, Graham Healy over and out, and that's all that matters.